didn't know what to do with myself. I got married when I was 18. I became a mom shortly thereafter. And my whole identity was being a wife and a mama. And I was still a mama. I wasn't a wife anymore. COVID had hit my marketing agency really hard. A lot of my clients and their businesses were affected by the pandemic. And then in August of that year, after being a caregiver for my mother-in-law in our home for a decade, my services were no longer needed. So there was another piece of my identity that was stripped away. So on the day that that happened, I cried really hard. And then I knew that I needed to make a major change. So I'd been having all these little mini adventures while I was healing, and I decided that I needed a big adventure. So one day I Googled seasonal jobs with housing. I didn't even know that was a thing. I was just Googling. And this website called coolworks.com came up. And I had always wanted to go to Colorado. I'd never been that far west. So I started looking for jobs in Colorado. And the first one I applied to was a dude ranch in the mountains. And, I remember they called me the next day and they're like, "Are you sure this is a job you want to do? Like, you own a business, blah, blah, blah." I was like, yeah. If you could just give me a place to stay and a job, that's what I want to do. And so I think that was on a Wednesday. And they were like, "Can you be here by Monday?" I talked to my kids and they're like, "Mama, go for it." I was in Colorado by that Monday. And that was a long drive. It was a lot happening, complete culture shock. So I took this job. I moved into a bunk house. I slept in a bunk bed. And I was going to be in Colorado for 4 months. Just a timeout. A timeout from my personal life, a timeout from my business that was struggling because of the pandemic, and a chance to see and do some new things. Well, I'd been there about 6 weeks and a wildfire broke out. And I was evacuated. The ranch was evacuated. Everything was literally burning around me. And I was like, wow, isn't this appropriate? And I was certain that at that point I was going to have to tuck my tail between my legs and go back to Florida and, start over again and decide what to do. But as luck or fate would have it, I got to stay and I got to help clean up after that wildfire. And then, when my what was supposed to be my 4-month stint at this ranch in Colorado was supposed to be up, they were like, "Hey, do you want to stay a little longer?" Well, that 4 months has now turned into over 4 years of being affiliated with that ranch.